Hart fans, welcome to the 2024-25 Hart Women's Basketball Media Day. I'm your host, Hart correspondent Stephen Davis. The basketball season is almost here, and right now we're excited to talk with Culver Stockton head coach Jeanette Bergen, along with student athlete Katie Webb. Coach Katie, how are you guys today?
We're doing great. We had morning practice, so we're ready to start the day.
All right, Coach, 12th year for you as the head coach of the Wildcats. How excited are you for this year's squad, and what stands out to you about your team this season?
Yeah, it's gonna be a different group. We have a lot of returners, but we have a lot of new faces too. So we're about 50-50. It's really gonna come down to how well our guards mesh with our forwards, and that's our young ones are our guards and our forwards are our older ones. So that balance is gonna be fun to play with. The young ones are vibrant, they're excited, they're quick. Katie's learning that she has to run a little bit faster and be ready a little bit quicker on some of the plays and the cuts and things like that. But very different group than we're used to. I'm pretty excited about it. Kind of reminds me a lot of our 2019-20 season that we had those type of players in the guard spot. So I'm pretty excited about that.
You mentioned Katie. She's sitting next to you. Tell us about her and the impact she's had on your program.
Yes, Katie's one of our 4-year kids. All three of our seniors have been here for 4 years. They're a unique group. They're all very different individuals, but Katie's one of those players that she's not usually as vocal at times, but when she is vocal, I mean, you hear. I've always tried to preach to her, you need to be a little bit more vocal out there on the floor because they'll hear you. They'll hit you in the hands, and that's what we're looking for this year. A little bit more for her to speak up, especially with 2 point guards that are going to be freshmen. They're going to be needing some help out there, but no, there's no doubt in my mind that Katie can do it. She's been doing it for 4 years. She's been working hard, and I'm excited to just kind of see how she meshes with them. I'm looking for a little bit more out of her out on the outside than what we usually do. Usually we're trying to get the ball inside, but she has a beautiful mid-range and she can shoot the three. So we're expecting her to kind of branch out in that type of scenario this year on the offensive side of things. So pretty excited.
Katie, coach just told us a lot about you. Fourth year for you. Every season's a little different. How's practice going so far this year?
Practice has been really well this year. It's going good. I definitely think with our guards that we've brought in, like we're gonna have a good year. We have our seniority side on the forward side, and just getting that aspect of coming together with the freshman guards is gonna go really well.
How about you personally? What are you looking to improve within your game this season?
Yeah, kind of like Coach said, I usually stay down low and run that center spot, but I definitely been working on my mid range and my 3 point. So hoping to get out there and shoot a little bit more this year.
All right, with you and your teammates, what are some of your favorite things to do as a team when you're outside of practice, away from the basketball court?
Oh man. We will do some game nights usually. Well, someone will host and we get a bunch of board games and have a little team bonding night and have a bunch of board games out and play.
Love it. Coach, back to you. What are some goals you have for the team this year, both in terms of results on the court as well as player development?
Yeah, the player development is going to be the biggest one for us. Our seniors still have a lot to learn. Truly, the young ones coming in, just understanding the speed of the game, understanding how it flows. And I think that's going to be the biggest key. Skill development is always very, very important to our group. We're never going to be just out talent everybody. We have to work hard. We preach defense creates our offense. And if we can buy into that defense and trust each other defensively, there's no doubt in my mind that we can put points on the board. We're going to play a little bit quicker than what we're used to. And I'm pretty excited about that. That's ultimately what we want to do. We want to play a little bit faster, but under control. And that comes with experience and moving the ball side to side. I know that these guys want to get up quick shots, but we got to make them, right? So just working in the gym, making sure that we're taking the right shots within practices and skill development and things like that. But ultimately, this group can do a lot. It's really up to them how hard they want to work. I think that we have a pretty talented group, even more talented than last year. I mean, yeah, we were talented. We didn't do as much as what I thought we could have done. But this group already, chemistry wise, it's just different. It's just a different feel on the court, and that's something that you as a coach, and I can't coach that. That's something that they develop on their own. And obviously they're doing some game nights and things like that. I found out that we have a point guard that's not really a good bowler either. So I'm glad that she plays basketball and she's not on our bowling team. But that's how off the court stuff is really how teams build that chemistry. And I'm happy to hear that they're doing those type of things, because that just makes my job a little bit easier and trying to figure out what groups work well together.
Well, speaking of off the court stuff, Coach, we know you're plenty busy as the head coach, but you're also the senior women's administrator for the department. What all does that role have you doing around campus as well?
Yeah, not only do I have that role, I'm also the concessions coordinator on campus as well. So we have a busy weekend. It's homecoming weekend. So getting practice done this morning, allowing the girls to kind of have some freedom within homecoming weekend is nice, but it also frees me up. We have our board members on campus and things like that. But ultimately, I just want to be a sounding board for any student athlete. It doesn't matter female, male. I want to be able to help mentor some of the young kids that are getting ready to go out into the workforce and things like that. I know that with my seniors, they've been in here a lot, just kind of picking my brain of what to do, how to do it. I know that Katie's been here on several grad visits already, just trying to help them navigate that type of the workforce, or that next step in life. And then I always put these girls to work, being that person that has multiple hats around campus, they get to join the fun with me. So I'm sure that this weekend they're going to have a lot of fun. They're super excited. They don't have to work the concessions for the football game, but they do have to work the soccer game tonight. So it's a little bit of a balance.
A little bit of a trade-off. Katie, let's go back to you. Do you have any good stories about things Coach has made you and your teammates do over the last few years with concessions or something else?
Oh goodness. I'm really just glad we don't have to work homecoming football this year. Every other year we've had to do it, and I'm extremely grateful that we don't have to this year.
It's a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie.
It sounds like it would be. Katie, well, what led you to Culver Stockton? Take us through your journey from high school to become a Wildcat.
Yeah, for sure. I had a bunch of different offers from different schools, and really it was the environment here and the professors, the coaches, just everybody was extremely friendly. Everybody is great up on this campus. Like if you need help, you can go talk to anybody and if they can't help you, they'll direct you to the next one who can. Just the environment is extremely family oriented.
Katie, do you have any career plans for life after basketball when that comes?
Yeah, for sure. I'm going and looking into grad school to go to occupational therapy. So I've got a couple more years of school after this.
Awesome. Well,
She's
Coach,
being modest. She's got accepted 4 out of 5 so far of the grad schools that she's interviewed with. So she's got good options.
Very impressive. Coach, obviously you've made an impact on so many of your student athletes and players over the years. Who were some people, some coaches maybe that had an impact on you as you were coming up?
Oh, wow. There's a ton. Growing up, obviously my dad is the one that got me into basketball. I used to go to the junior high practices that he used to coach and play with the guys. And that's really where it stemmed from. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I love the competitive spirit of it. But ultimately, I had a really good high school coach. We butted heads. I was one of those players that I always wanted to learn. I knew I wanted to coach. I always wanted to learn. So I was always picking their brains. So definitely it's been a challenge, as I'm sure coaching me, I'm sure it was, but Connie Garrett, she was an amazing coach for me. My dad, I went to college and had 2 very different style of coaches. One was very much structure oriented, and then the other one was just a little bit more freelance, so Coach Just and Coach JD Gravina, those are great ones. But ultimately when it comes to the coaching side of things, James Arnold, he is now the athletic director at Columbia College. He has been probably one of my biggest mentors, because I started my coaching career at a very young age. I got this job at 25 and he pushed me towards it. But I had a couple of years under him, and a little fun story, he tried to fire me. They wouldn't let him. He kind of inherited me and he got stuck with me. But I think that he can say that it was a good blessing that he got to keep me, and also for me as well.
Very cool. Katie, what are some goals you guys have as a team for this season related to whatever it might be?
Yeah, especially with the younger underclassmen being our point guards, just trying to build their confidence so that they can be extremely vocal on the court and do what we need them to do. I think one of our biggest goals is to get up there and rebounding and things like that. Last year we struggled a little bit, but I definitely think that we have some size and some good guards to come in there and sweep the rebounds. So,
All right, Coach. I'm sure you have some goals for your team as well, but I want to ask you this. What's it going to take for your team to reach goals they may have set or you may have set for them this year?
Yeah, we talk about goals. I know that they did some individual goals. I kind of let them handle that side of things, but ultimately, the biggest one is get out there, have fun, and continue to learn why we do it, right? But big picture, for us to compete and win some games this year, we got to control the small things. We lost about 7 or 8 games by 1 possession or 2, and that possession throughout the game matters. So just learning how to take care of the ball, but ultimately get us some second chance opportunities. That was one of, like Katie mentioned, that was one of our biggest downfalls the last 2 years. If you look at our track record before that, we're usually top 5 in rebounding. The last 2 years, we have been last or second to last. So that is going to be a big piece for us, is to not only just control the tempo of the game, but go get the ball. You can't win a game without the ball in your possession. So like I say that to them, the defense creates offense, but we also have to dictate what we do. We have to dictate what the offense does when we're playing defense. We have to dictate what we do offensively and not let the defense control what we're wanting to do, but yeah, ultimately the big picture here is the rebounding. That is the biggest one for me, is we got to get ourselves in the middle of the pack, if not back up to the top 5 in rebounding. And if we see ourselves there, there's no doubt in my mind that we can make a run for some things.
Coach, Katie, thank you so much for the time today and for spending some of your media day with us. Best of luck this season to the Wildcats.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.